Hi, how are you? This is Margie Plock, and I'm here to talk about the volunteer orientation for the North County Mini Maker Fair. I'm going to wait just a minute or two to see if anybody comes by to join me. Otherwise, I will do it as a complete broadcast without any people. I'm going to wait just a minute or two to see, and we're learning as we go. So if you know how to open your chat, you can do that and see some files. And I'll be glad to talk people through it. If this is your first experience with the Google Hangout, once that Hangout window opens, if you slide your mouse over to the left edge, you should see a black bar with icons on it pop out. And the little icon at the top is chat. And when you click it, a strip will open on the right side of the screen. And it's got some links in it for the volunteer handbook and also for the volunteer waiver form. Those are really helpful things to have. I've sent some links, but just in case somebody needs it, the best way to ask questions is to use the Q&A button. But if you're not sure about that, you're also very welcome to send email. It's real simple, Margie, M-A-R-G-I-E, at sdmakersguild.org. And that will get to me, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you might have about volunteering. So I'm going to switch over and turn on the presentation in probably another minute or two. And in the meantime, I'm just going to check and see whether anybody else is going to join us. That looks like we've got somebody else here. Hi, welcome. Right now, I can't see you. I know that there were a couple of people here, but we'll record this so that it will be available on YouTube later for anybody who wants to play through it again. And I'm glad you're here. I just explained, if you want to send me a message in the chat screen, you can do that by rolling over the left-hand side of the window that you're seeing me in. The icon on the top, the little blue icon, is the chat icon. If you click that, then a strip will open on the right side of your screen. And it's got some links in it, and I think copy and repaste those just to be sure that everybody sees them. And thank you all for joining us, and thank you very much for volunteering. We're really excited about the Mini Maker Fair that's going to happen. It'll be the first one ever in North County. So I've got a viewer. I'm hoping for another couple of people to come in. If you've got questions along that left-hand side strip where the chat icon was, there's a little blue icon that says Q&A. If you want to click, and you can add questions in there, you can do that. That's another way. So you can use chat, or you can use the Q&A button to ask questions. So I'm going to start by sharing the screen, and you'll see the PowerPoint presentation that we went through on Saturday. This said it was going to last for an hour and a half. I don't think it will. I'm hoping to get through everything in about 45 minutes, maybe even less. So here we go. Again, it's the volunteer orientation, and the chat again opens with, if you roll over the left-hand side of the window, you'll see the little blue chat icon. If you click it, you'll get a strip open on the right side of your screen, And there's also a little blue Q&A icon on the left side of your screen when you roll over there, and that will open Q&A and you can ask questions there. Great. Thank you all for coming, and let's get started. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll dive into the presentation. So first of all, thank you all very, very much for volunteering for the Mini Maker Faire. We're really excited to put together our first North County Mini Maker Faire. We've done the San Diego Mini Maker Faire in Del Mar in 2013, and then last fall we did the Maker Faire in Balboa Park. I wanted to thank the Antique Gas and Steam Engine Museum in Vista for being our partners. They've been wonderful to work with. And everyone who comes to the Mini Maker Faire should know that it's actually embedded inside the tractor show. It's a huge event. And you're part of something that will be a lot of fun. Okay, so here we go. This is where the Antique Gas and Steam Engine Museum is, 2040 North Santa Fe Avenue in Vista. Please allow time to get up there. And please remember to check Google Maps because the county fair is going on in Del Mar, and that may affect it may affect traffic going through that area. So hopefully you can see the screen. I'm going to just keep moving along, and we are going to be really working hard to do a great job of celebrating making and presenting making to the people in North County. As volunteers, you are the Maker Faire. You're the people that visitors see. You're the people who interact with guests. So you're really important. So once again, my name is Margie Plock. I'm one of the volunteer coordinators. The other volunteer coordinator is Yuen Tran. She can't be here tonight, but there's a whole group of San Diego Makers Guild volunteers who are organizing the fair. And you'll get to meet them on the course of Saturday, but some of their names are Jose Cermeno, who's president of the Makers Guild, Travis Good, who is one of our board members, and James Newton, who is the maker organizer for the fair. So all those folks and a lot more will be there, but you really are the most important people there. You're going to be interacting with everybody, and we're very grateful that you decided to do this. So this is where the Mini Maker Faire is, and if you can see this slide on the screen, you can see the map. Down at the very bottom toward the right is actually the entrance to the museum. The main parking lot is off the map to the left. And inside that big red circle is where the Mini Maker Faire will be. Part of it is in Building K, and then part of it is outside in this big grassy area. The part that's in the building includes, so for anybody who's working on paper circuits, you're going to, for anybody who's working on either learn to solder or air rockets, you're going to be outside. And we're saying to everybody, come prepared for the weather. We're expecting it to be hot, and we're expecting to have a lot of people there. So bring a hat, bring sunblock, and just be prepared. There's also, as you can see, a reasonable distance from where you come into the grounds to where the Mini Maker Faire is, so please allow time when you arrive to come in. Now the Mini Maker Faire, as I said, is just one part, so all around here will be full of other activities and people doing lots of stuff. It's going to be a really great event with everything from very traditional making up through all the steam engines up through the electronics. Okay, I'm watching chat, and I'm also watching Q&A. I don't see any questions, but please do enter questions if you want to as I go along. What we're asking everybody to do is to come in about 15 minutes early so that you have time to check in. And I'll show you more precisely where check-in actually is. But before we get to that, I just want to give you a little bit of detail. So everything that's outside is under canopies, which will help keep the sun off. Can't do anything about the heat, but it will keep the sun off. The porch is shaded, and unfortunately we've got a little bit of a mistake because we're saying check-in area here, and there really isn't a check-in area where that arrow is, so I apologize. But like I said, the paper circuits are inside. Okay, so here's the schedule. We've got everything early morning volunteer check-in, 6 a.m. The makers will start arriving at 6:30. I'm pretty sure that most people who are on this call are not part of that early morning setup, but are coming in for either a morning or an afternoon shift. The morning shift starts at 8:30 and runs until 12:30. Again, we're asking you to get there about 15 minutes early at about 8:15 for the afternoon check-in. If you arrive by 12:15, that should be fine. And then on Sunday, we've got a morning shift, 8:30 to 12:30, an afternoon shift, and then a tear down and clean up from 4 to 8. And the fair is open from 9 a.m. to 4:30 both days. So one thing that you should know is that as our thank you for volunteering, you're going to be able to get into the fair with your ticket on both days. So you can volunteer one day and come back and just enjoy the fair on the next day. Or you can volunteer and spend part of the same day seeing the fair. Both will work. We're really happy with either one of those. Okay, just to quickly run through the volunteer roles. As I said, early morning on Saturday, we've got setup and check-in. Makers are going to be coming in. We're going to be helping them get into their booths, get everything set up. The fair opens at 9. That's why we're starting so early. And then the hands-on activities, if people are there at 8:30 to start, 8:15 to start for the 8:30 shift, we'll have Learn to Solder, paper circuits, and air rockets. Learn to Solder is outside, but there's electricity out there. It's going to be a great time. We're putting together robot maker badges, and so you're going to be teaching people how to solder. Paper circuits inside the building. I think that some of you who are listening in now are doing paper circuits, and that's making greeting cards with copper tape and an LED that lights up. That should be a lot of fun. We have some great supplies for that. And then the air rockets will be outside. Really, really simple, great activity for kids. We just roll paper around PVC pipe, use a lot of tape, put them together, and then we've got some great air-powered launchers. We can get great height and distance. And since we're outside, we plan to really take advantage of that. The last time we did this, we were over at the Air and Space Museum and we were inside. So we were having to be careful so that we didn't land the paper rockets on top of the fighter jets. But we won't have that problem here in Vista. It's possible some of you might be floaters, and if you have signed up for a floater spot, the floaters are going to be going around checking on makers, making sure that everybody has what they need. They will also be helping with check-in for volunteers and late maker check-in during the day. And then we've got our tear down cleanup crew at the end just to make sure that all the canopies come down, everything gets cleaned up and put away. So it'll be a lot of fun. We're really looking forward to it. There's plenty to do, and we definitely would love to have more volunteers, especially on Sunday. We know it's Father's Day, and we'd love it if you'd celebrate Father's Day by coming with your dad and volunteering. So, important questions that everybody needs to know the answer to. First one is, what about parking? Especially for you guys who weren't able to come to the in-person orientation, so I wasn't able to hand you a parking pass. That's okay, don't worry. Your parking will be free when you pull in to the antique gas and steam engine grounds. You'll be stopped at the parking booth. And you just tell them that you are there to volunteer for the Mini Maker Faire, and they'll let you in. You can park, and then you walk from your car into the very entrance of the museum, and right there's going to be a big canopy with check-in for volunteers. You won't be able to miss it, so we can check you right in. You will get, when you check in, a wristband, and your wristband is your ticket. You'll have a blue wristband, makers will have an orange wristband, and guests will have a different color wristband. So you can quickly tell who's who, and your wristband is good for both days. Another great benefit that the museum has made available to all the volunteers is if you want to camp on museum grounds, they've got 55 acres. You can camp Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday nights if you want to. And if you're interested in doing that, I will give you an address, an email address in the chat that you can send a request to. The email address is uyn@sdmakersguild.org, and just let UN know that you'd like to camp. Another fantastic benefit for everybody is that there'll be an ice cream social on Friday night before the fair, the Fair and the Tractor Show open. That's open to all the volunteers, 6:30 to 7 on Friday night, and I'll give more details about that shortly. Okay, so here we go. Here is the check-in map. What's important for volunteers is that little red circle way over on the right. Hopefully you can see where my mouse is. That is where that big white canopy will be, and that's where you come. In the email that I sent out, I did send out a link to the volunteer waiver, and I also sent out a link to the handbook. And you should be able to download both of those. I also put links into the chat section. And so if you want to check in the chat, you should be able to find links to those documents. Don't worry about the red line. That red line is actually indicating where makers will drive around to deliver things. You can go from the red circle, walk straight down the street, and then into the area. You'll know from check-in, you're either going to Paper Circuits inside the building here, or into the field for Learn to Solder and for air rockets. So again, check in right way over here on the right-hand edge of this image, and big white canopy, check in for volunteers and also for makers. Okay. All right, so as I said, I sent you the waiver link. Volunteers have to sign a liability waiver. If you are under 18, you have to have a parent or guardian sign the waiver. And please bring the waiver with you when you come to volunteer. You'll get a blue wristband. Guests are going to have their wristband, and they're also going to have a tractor stamp, which on their hand. And that shows that they've signed the liability waiver and they can participate in all the hands-on activities. So there'll be people who can have those liability waivers signed, but I think most people will sign them on the way in, and they should have their stamps and be ready to go. If you have any questions at any point, Find one of the volunteers who's wearing a Mini Maker Faire Balboa Park t-shirt. They will be the core team, and ask them. So they'll be able to answer any questions that you've got. Okay, just a quick overview on safety and security and other general things that we work very hard to make sure we don't have a problem with. If something comes up, the main thing is go find one of those people, me, James, Jose, Travis, we'll all have on our Mini Maker Faire t-shirts, and please find us and say, I think there's a safety issue. We've got a live wire, we've got a problem. You can also let the security for the Antique Gas and Steam Engine Museum know that there's a problem. If you feel like there's either a safety or a security problem, somebody's behavior is concerning to you, please don't try to tackle it on your own. Please get somebody else. I don't expect those problems, but want you to know what to do just in case they might arise. If there's a minor first aid thing, somebody gets a burn on a soldering iron or a small cut, there is a museum information booth. And let's go back here. Museum information booth is right here. So kind of in the middle of this picture. And at that location, they've got a first aid kit for small things. If there's anything that's major, then you call 911. But anything that's small, then that's okay. Please don't do first aid unless you're trained and certified. Lost children. Okay, so a lost child is anybody under 18 who is separated from the parent or guardian without their knowledge or consent. If you have a parent come to you and say, I've lost my child, contact the museum security right away. An alert will go out for a missing parent, and the security will take over. If you find a lost child, get somebody to go get security. Stay with the child until security arrives. And if the parent shows up and says, oh, this is my child, please ask them to wait until the security person arrives, because we just want to be sure that the child goes back to the right person. So that's the general practice for lost children. I haven't seen any questions in chat, and I haven't seen any in Q&A. So I'm going to keep moving along. We're making good time and should finish up pretty soon. Just other general event info. In the Lost and Found, that's also in the museum information booth. They're just going to have a box. So if you find something, you can take it there. If you have someone ask you where that is, again, it's in the museum information booth. There's a huge telephone pole that's right next to the booth. So it's really easy to spot. If by chance, a member of the media sees you sitting at one of the hands-on activity tables and says, oh, tell me all about Maker Faire. Please just tell them that they should talk to one of the Maker Faire coordinators and direct them to find, especially Jose Cermeno or Travis Good. They're going to be the people talking to the media from Maker Faire. And then Ashley Jacks is the person for them to talk to for the museum itself. Okay, so there is Wi-Fi access on the grounds, and this is printed in the handbook. The username is Museum Space Weavers, and the password is Loom1234. So we'll have that printed and we'll be giving it to all of the volunteers when you arrive at your check-in, just so that you know it, and so that if a maker asks you, you can give it to them. And again, the makers will have orange wristbands. Okay, it's going to be hot. Like I said, that's the forecast for the weekend. So in terms of what to wear, please choose something that's comfortable. The one thing that we do ask is that you wear closed-toe shoes that stay on your feet. You may be outside, you're definitely going to be walking on dirt roads. It's not a day for flip-flops. It's a day to really have your feet well covered. And the fair staff and the museum staff have the option of, asking you to change if you arrive in something dirty or wrinkled or torn. But that's my experience with Maker. Oh, I'm sorry. It looks like, Shalene, are you out there? Have you been able to log on? Because if not, then I'll have to share the link with you. Okay, so all you have to do is click on the video play button in the image. Okay. So in terms of what to bring, please bring water, bring snacks. There will be food there. There's actually 2 restaurants on the grounds, and we'll do our best to have extra water for volunteers, but the best thing to do is to bring water with you so that you know that you've definitely got it. Bring your volunteer agreement, which all of you, that's the waiver form that was included in the email. And if you're doing setup or takedown, bring gloves. But as I said before, bring a hat and then you'll be able to stay as cool as you possibly can. Okay. Hang on just one second. There's another way to view this. Instead of doing Google Hangout, you can do a YouTube, and I'm going to put the YouTube information onto the site. Okay. All right, so perks. We appreciate all your efforts. The museum really appreciates all your efforts. So we are asking, we're actually hoping that you'll really take advantage of it. You'll get free entrance to the show both days. That's both the tractor show and the Mini Maker Faire. Free parking, again, both days. When you actually check in, you're going to get the parking pass. So if you don't have it when you arrive the first day, you'll get it as soon as you check in. As I said, you can have free camping. The ice cream social is free and open to everybody Friday night, 6 to 7:30. And on Saturday night, after the fair closes at about 8 p.m., there's actually going to be a private tractor show. So if you'd like to stay on Saturday night, you can definitely do that. All the volunteers are also getting a free 1-year digital subscription to Make Magazine and a Maker sticker. We thank you very, very much for everything that you're doing. Okay. So that's pretty much everything. We're asking you to tell everyone you know about the fair, about the tractor show. Encourage them to come. If you know anybody who'd like to volunteer, we'd love to have them. Please join us and share this great first time North County Maker Faire with us. Once, this is a slide that we had for the in-person, but I'm going to drop out of the slideshow, go back to live, and just make sure that everybody's doing okay. And this will continue to record, so it'll be available for people who weren't able to catch the beginning or see the whole thing. So thank you very, very much. We're really excited to do the fair and to have you as part of it. And if you have any questions, you can email volunteer@sdmakersguild.org or margie@sdmakersguild.org, and I will be glad to answer. Okay, I'm going to get out of the screen share and go back to live. Here I am, and I do not know. Okay. I see that there are viewers out there, and I don't know how to see you guys. So let me see if I can turn that on. Hopefully everybody is seeing this. Everybody's been able to get the information that they need. I haven't seen any questions on Q&A. Okay, so just to reiterate, where you check in for your shift is at the very entrance to the grounds. So you'll come in, you'll park, leave your car, and then right there, there'll be a big white canopy, and you can do your check-in. If you don't have your parking pass when you pull into the main gate, just tell them that you're there to volunteer for the Mini Maker Faire, and they'll let you in. You can park, and then you'll get your parking pass that you can put in the window and have for the next day. Okay, that's pretty much everything that we've gone through. And I just want to thank everyone for coming. Again, please feel free to email me, margie@sdmakersguild.org, if you have questions. If you're not sure about the activity that you're volunteering with, if you want to go back and review, send me an email and I can send you some directions or instructions for the activity. If you're not sure about the location of your particular activity, you'll hear that when you check in, but also, again, Paper Circuits is inside Building K, and both Learn to Solder and Air Rockets are outside on the grass. It's a really big area, and there's plenty of room for all the things that we're going to do. So I would just like to thank everybody for coming. We're really excited. We will see you at your shift. If you have questions about your shift, if you're not sure exactly where the museum is, it's located in Vista. The address, again, is here, 2040 at the 2040 North Santa Fe Avenue, Vista, California, 92083. So that's 2040 North Santa Fe Avenue, Vista, California. And please do remember, with the county fair going, that could affect traffic on I-5. So just be prepared for that. So I look forward to seeing everybody. Thank you so much for coming and viewing tonight. And I look forward to seeing you at the fair. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.